ولا تكونوا كالذين نسوا الله فأنساهم أنفسهم أولئك هم الفاسقون لا يستوي أصحاب النار وأصحاب الجنة أصحاب الجنة هم الفائزون.
Hey, do me a favor. Can you read chapter 2, verses 286 for me?
Yes, sir. Okay. It says, Allah does not charge a soul except with that within its capacity. It will have the consequence of what good is gained, and it will bear the consequence of what evil it has earned. Our Lord, do not impose blame upon us if we have forgotten or erred. Our Lord, and lay not upon us a burden like that which you laid upon those before us. Our Lord, and burden us not with that which we have no ability to bear, and pardon us, and forgive us, and have mercy upon us. You are our protector, so give us victory over the disbelieving people.
Just break down what I'm more so focusing on is the first sentence.
Yeah, God does not make a soul bear what it cannot, essentially.
That's interesting because what I read was that verse is regarding to testing. Like Allah basically wouldn't test you with a test that you wouldn't be able to pass.
Allah won't test you with a test that you cannot pass? Sure, that's another interpretation. So what's the argument?
Do you agree that that's one of the that is the interpretation though?
What, that God does not test what you cannot bear or something?
Yeah, try and talk to him and on that. See what it says.
All right, I'll check it out. Here we are. Okay, 286. All right. Okay. وقالوا سمعنا وأطعنا لا يكلف الله. Allah does not ask a soul what is beyond its ability. It's only demonstrated Allah can. Yeah, this is Ibn Kathir's opinion. I can go with that. No problem.
Yeah. See what I'm saying? So, okay, now, can you go to chapter 2, verses 102?
Yeah. They instead followed the magic promoted by the devils during the reign of Solomon. Never did Solomon disbelieve, rather the devils disbelieved. They taught magic to the people, along with that what had been revealed to the two angels, Harut and Marut, in Babylon. The two angels never taught anyone without saying, we are only a test, for you do not abandon your faith. Yet people learned magic that caused a rift, even between husband and wife, although their magic could not harm anyone except by Allah's will. They learned what harmed them and did not benefit them, although they already knew that whoever buys into magic would have no share in the hereafter. Miserable indeed was the price for which they sold their souls, if only they knew.
Right. So, what was the reason why the angels came down to teach magic?
A test.
All right. And did it say people failed the test and lost their share in the hereafter?
Yes.
So does that not go against 286? I thought Allah wouldn't do that.
No, because Allah sends you tests that you can pass, but you can choose to pass it or not.
No. Remember, we established that Allah wouldn't send you a test that He knows that you're gonna fail.
No, I don't think that's not actually Ibn Kathir is talking about. I'm gonna read it to you. Ibn Kathir says right here, Allah does not ask a soul what is beyond its ability. So Allah can still question things that you can answer, not necessarily meaning that you will pass, but you have the ability to pass. So I don't really see the contradiction here.
Well, I don't know, because here's the thing: are you saying that these people were able to take this test twice? Because
no,
they lost their share in the hereafter by doing magic. So if you say that they could pass the test, but He sent them a test that they didn't pass, and they don't have a second chance to take the test, well, then ultimately Allah sent them a test that they would fail, and they lost their share in the hereafter, which means that they're going to hell. So He sent them a test they failed, and He basically signed their one-way ticket to hell.
They could have passed the test though, right? Because the angels came and told them this is a test. To every person that they were testing, they always said before they show them how to do the magic, this is a test, right? So the person knew that it was a test, therefore they had the ability to reject the teaching of it. But some people chose to engulf themselves within the teachings of magic after they've been warned that it's a test. So I really don't see how this leads to a contradiction at all, because Ibn Kathir says that God will not test them with something that they cannot answer, like their ability, right? That they don't have the ability to bear or answer. So they still had the ability, they still were able to bear the question. They had the ability to say no, but some of them failed that. Right? So, yeah.
I see what you're saying. What do you define the ability to do something? Meaning, well, even though you're failing this test now, I believe in you and you have the ability to do it with the right amount of studying. But in this moment that you failed the test, you did not have the ability to do it. So I think maybe we should kind of address what we mean by someone having the ability to do it and someone being able to do it, but in that moment not being able to actually complete the test. Because if I give you a test in calculus and you haven't studied it, well, yeah, you could pass the test, but in this moment that you're taking this test, you do not have the ability to pass this test.
You do have
and
the
I
ability.
think that goes.
Why not?
Well, no, in the moment you don't have the ability to,
Yeah, you
because
do.
you don't know anything about calculus.
Well, it's not impossible. You can guess all the answers right.
But what do you mean you can guess all the answers right? That doesn't mean that I know calculus. It's not about guessing. It's about actually knowing calculus.
Life. Okay, so you have a test next week. You are able to pass the test by studying. But when you don't study, then you find out you got an F. You still have the ability to pass it, but you chose not to.
Oh no, come on, that's playing word games, man. If I guess a test, yes, I have the ability to pass a test by just randomly guessing and possibly guessing everything right. Yes, but that's not me having the ability to actually pass the test. That's just me guessing the answers. Like, that's just like mere luck. That's not me actually really having the ability to pass the test. That's just like a stroke of luck.
No. You don't understand what I'm saying. I'm saying the person has a week of studying to do. And this week of studying, they decided to play video games the whole time. And when they failed the test, they still knew that they had the ability to pass, but they chose not to actually exercise that being able to pass by not studying.
Do me a favor before I walk in here, because it's probably going to cut off. Can you look up the definition of ability?
Sure. Should I just look up the definition of being able to, or just ability?
Look up the definition of ability. We already know what being able to means. Yeah, being able to means that there's a possibility that you can do it with the right amount of studying. But having the ability to do something and being able to do something is completely different.
No, it's the same thing. And here, it says right here, possession of the means or skill to do something, or talent, skill, or proficiency in a particular area.
Exactly. It has everything to do with possession. So if you don't possess the talent or means and skills to do so, yeah, you're able to do it when you possess those talents and skills. But if you don't have the talents and skills, you're not able to do it.
Yeah, but the thing is, when you have a week of testing, you have a week of studying to do for a test, you have the ability to study. Once you study, you are able to pass the test, right? And even if you haven't studied, you are still able to pass the test as well, even if it's luck. You are still able to pass that test. There's no contradiction with getting A, B, C, D, E, F, G all right. It's just not very likely, but you can still do it. Likewise with the angels that came down and taught them. Everyone had the ability to say, no, I don't want to do this in such a test. But people that were given the test, right? Some of them said yes, some of them said no. Those who said no had the ability to speak from their mouths and say, I don't want to do it.
Well, let's figure out, and then like I said, after this, I'm gonna jump back on with you if you're still live. I see what you're saying, but let's not take it to a range of someone handing somebody a test and then them having the ability to because of course everybody possesses the ability to randomly jot out numbers.
Yeah, they do. That's the point.
On a multiple choice test, right? Everyone has the ability to randomly guess on multiple choices, but we all know that the probabilities of someone answering a test correctly when it's not multiple choice is probably less than 1%.
Again, even then, it's
so randomly answering something is different than actually having the ability and knowing the answer and doing the studies.
When the angels came down, they were given the study guide. This is a test. Okay, so they were given the studying essentially in that moment. So refuse the test, you're good. If you don't, you're gonna have a hard time. Okay.
Yeah, but the problem is that Allah is all knowing, so He knew that they would fail the test. So He knew that they didn't have the ability to endure the.
No,
He knew that they didn't have. He knew that they didn't possess the ability to endure the moment in which they knew that what they were doing was wrong. Instead, they still went in and they gave into their urges to learn magic, which lost their share in the hereafter.
I don't believe
He knew
that
that was
follows.
going to happen.
That doesn't follow. Okay, he knew.
Wait, did Allah know that they were going to fail the
Yes,
test?
he knew, but that doesn't mean they didn't have the ability to pass. They still had the ability to pass, but they didn't pass it. That's still a possibility.
No,
That's
they didn't. They didn't possess the willpower to say no.
They did, but they just chose not to. What?
If they possessed the willpower to say no, then they would have said no.
That's your presupposition. People wanted to learn magic. That's not true. They could have said yes. That's just your presupposition with no evidence.
Well, yeah, they could have said yes, but the problem is they said no, which means that they didn't possess the willpower to overcome their urge to learn magic.
Can you prove that?
Even though that they knew it was wrong.
No,
Yeah, that proving
no,
it. I do. I am proving it. The fact that they said no, the fact that they wanted to learn the magic proves my point.
No, it doesn't. Some people want to disobey. What's wrong with, like, I don't understand how this is not an actual possibility that can exist. One can be said to this is a test.
Have you never had the urge to do something you don't want to do or you didn't want to do?
I didn't. You mean something that I wanted to do, but I rejected it?
Have you ever had the urge? Have you ever had the urge to do something that you know you shouldn't do, but you still did it anyway?
Yes.
Exactly. And what would you say that is?
I could have rejected it, but I chose not to.
Exactly. So that means that in that moment you did not possess the willpower to go against your own urge.
God.
You didn't possess the willpower.
Yes, I did. I just didn't actualize it. I did. I just didn't actualize it. What?
All right. Hey, look. We're gonna put a pin in this one real quick, and then